This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines, matchups, injuries.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Five for Fighting podcast. We're coming to you guys on Good Friday, nice and early today. So the guys out on the East Coast, they aren't up 12 o'clock at night trying to record these episodes. We got a jam-packed episode here for you guys today, leading us into the end of the regular season. We got 8 to 6 games left, depending on what team you're looking at. We've got a lot of drama coming out of Leafland. They fired their GM. We're going to get heavy into that and a whole bunch more. But first, I'm going to turn it over to Zach. He wants to touch on the Wild West, the chase for that last playoff spot there. So take it away, Zach. And by the way, that's a beautiful hat you got on your head there, buddy.
Thank you. I just had it made there not too long. It took a while to get it made, but no, it turned out pretty well. I thought the logo might have been a little too small, but I think it's the perfect size.
Put it up to your camera. Let's take it off and put it up to your camera. I want to have a look at that. Five from Fighting merch. Check it out for fall of 2026, everybody.
Yeah, so getting in right into the Pacific here, you look at the wild card spot, San Jose with their win last night and LA's loss. They moved up into the second wild card spot. And it's with all the help of all the thanks, I guess, to Celebrini, who's really pulled that team together this year and scored his 40th goal last night.
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, scored his 40th goal last night, or 2 nights ago, and then he's 105 points so far on the season. I mean, if we said it before, if San Jose can make the playoffs, I don't know how the MVP isn't Celebrini.
Cooch is making a good case, but yeah, for a team like that into the playoffs, I'm on board with you, man.
It is, and like I said, you have Kucherov, but you also have Vasilevsky in the back end. You have Hedman. You have all these players that make Tampa Bay what they are. You got Celebrini. You got Celebrini, and I mean, Will Smith has also played very well this year as well.
Yeah, he has. But Hedman, on your note on Hedman's a shell of his old self this year. He's not quite the punch that he used to be.
They don't even know if he'll be in for playoffs.
No, Hedman has been battling injuries all year. And like I said, he's 36, 37 years old. Played, I don't know the stat on it, but he's played just as much hockey as anybody in the NHL over the past decade. You know, they've made several runs to the finals and obviously won a couple of cups in that process, but he's banged up and he's really feeling it this season.
Yeah, but the Sharks and Celebrini, I love that kid, man. He's so good. It wasn't until the Olympics that I realized how good he was. He's unreal. Yeah, he's got just as good, maybe not just as good, but he's just as good of a shot as a goal scorer as Billard. But he's also got like that leadership that Crosby possesses. He has like a bit of like McKinnon strength, and he also strength in the corners, and he also has like the McDavid speed in a sense. Obviously not as fast, but like he brings all those into one just elite player. Yeah,
and
I describe him as a young Crosby with +$1 stats.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the 6th teenager ever to hit 100 points, and he'll be the 4th teenager to finish in top 5 league scoring. Oh, it's just unbelievable what he's doing.
Yeah,
and he's Carey Price's first 100-point player.
Yeah. You guys see the April Fool? San Jose had it Carey Price returning.
Yeah.
No, I fell for that.
Imagine if he did. I seen on Instagram today, Carey Price is at Disney with his family right now. But imagine if he did come back for like a playoff run with San Jose. I'd be like mortified. It would break my heart.
And then he goes on and wins.
Yeah.
Break my heart too, because he put out Colorado.
Right.
Can you imagine? He comes back, shuts out McKinnon.
Oh man.
Wild. So Zach, how about you get into the Western Conference battle there? Right, trying to get into that last playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and the West is we mentioned it before over and over again. The West is a joke of a division. Like, you got your top three guys, your top three teams, Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota. But then after that, it falls off pretty good. Anaheim is first in the Pacific with 87 points, actually tied right now with the Oilers. Oilers have been on a bit of a streak here since Leon's been out. Ingram's playing well, Jari's playing well. I do still think, though, it'll be Ingram's net come round one. Just due to the inconsistencies that Jari's had. He had a good game last night, but with the inconsistency that he showed since he's become an Oiler, I would say that it's Ingram's net come game one of the playoffs. But no, you look at the race for the last wildcard spot, LA, Nashville, San Jose, they're all tied for 79 points. So, I mean, it's going to come down to the last, 8 games left as everyone has. LA and Nashville have 9 games or 8 games, and San Jose has 9. So, and I mean, Winnipeg's also not that far behind. They're only 3 points behind them as well, right? So
you got Winnipeg, San Jose, Nashville, LA, Seattle, and St. Louis all with a sniff left for the playoffs for that.
Yeah, so I mean, from 7th place on to the last wild card spot could be anyone's spot, right? Utah's going to be in there, and I mentioned it last pod. They're going to be a sleeper in the playoffs. I think they're going to be, like, people are going to take them for granted. Like, they're going to come in there. They're going to knock out round one, I think.
Would you rather them or Vegas in round one? Because right now that's kind of what they're fighting for. If they hold in second,
to be honest,
get Vegas. And if they leapfrog Anaheim, they get Utah.
Yeah, I would probably say Vegas. I would. Their goaltending inconsistencies as well has been very noted this year. Hart came back last night, didn't look well in net as well, and then Hill's also been very up and down this season. Same with Hellebuck, right? So I mean, if Winnipeg wants to squeeze into that last playoff spot, Hellebuck's going to need to play a lot better than he did last night.
Yeah, that's my.
They're looking pretty good.
If
Winnipeg gets in,
yeah, for sure. If Winnipeg gets in, I'm picking Winnipeg to make a decent push. They got some guys there that, especially if you get Olympic version of Hellebuck playing in the playoffs, first round, second round, whatever. If you get that, Winnipeg is dangerous, man.
Winnipeg, I think they have 2 losses in a row here now, but leading up to that, they were right up there as one of the hottest teams. Now, obviously, they had a horrible start to the year, but they're trying their hardest. And for a team that made no changes, just kind of like locked up a few key role guys and then just fell off, they should be playing better. They should be in a playoff spot. So I think they all know that and they feel that. And if they do make the playoffs, there's no telling what could happen.
Well, the only guy they lost was Ehlers, and I can't see him making that big of a difference compared to President's Trophy Winnipeg last year to what they are now. They were last in the league there for a bit.
Yep. And it's mind-boggling of all the guys to lose because Ehlers is notoriously injured throughout his entire tenure in Winnipeg. So it's like, did he really create that big a hole? No, they've been they're one of the weirdest storylines of the entire season, that fall off. Like Florida, you can at least peg down to Barkov going out, fatigue from their cup runs, but Winnipeg, no cup runs. They didn't really lose anyone, and fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
One thing I do want to note on the wild card too for the West. So regular season ends April 16th this year. And right now we've got Nashville, San Jose, Winnipeg, and LA all play that day. Ooh. I think San Jose has a back-to-back that weekend too, so they play on the 15th as well. So a few years back when Colorado traded Duchesne after that abysmal season, they ended up recovering after getting rid of Duchesne and took out St. Louis in the 82nd game of the year to clinch a playoff spot and move on and take on Nashville. And that was kind of like the first turning over of the McKinnon era. Anyway, that whole, last 12 games, I think they went 9-1-2, and it was absolutely electric. Like every game tuning into that was some of the funnest hockey I've watched.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a similar kind of window with both wildcards, both
Yeah,
the East
with a
and
lot
West.
of teams, we're
There's
100%.
so many moving pieces, and most years I'm looking at it and it kind of gets boring around this time of year because everyone's locked up. This year, there's so much going on. I'm all for it. I think
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. I can't wait to see how it concludes.
From the fans' perspective, we're in for quite a treat this playoffs too. Not only this next 2-week window leading into the end, but the playoffs. We're going to get to see some teams and players we've never seen in the playoffs before. This is going to be a good year.
Yeah, like you talked about the East as well, like the wild card spot there for the last wild card. Ottawa's currently sitting in it, but Detroit's tied with them in points. Columbus is tied with them in points. And then Philadelphia and Washington are all within striking distance as well.
100%.
So, I mean, the last stretch of hockey we have here is going to be, you don't know who's going to make it. Like, 100%. Obviously, Boston's a pretty shoe-in at this point with 94 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, both last wild card spots in both divisions are going to be probably down to like the last 2 or 3 games, if not the last game.
There's basically 10 teams across two division or 2 conferences that are fighting for 2 playoff spots going into the end of this, and it's going to be good stuff.
I'm kind of rooting for Columbus, but I just see that Damon Severson was just put on the IR out for the rest of the season, so it's a massive loss for them down the stretch here now, and they've been playing some good hockey the past couple of weeks as well. But back to Ottawa, that win last night against Buffalo, that was a huge win for Ottawa last night to kind of put them in a playoff spot and not secure anything for them, but it showed that they really need that win, and they played pretty hard for it. So, it's a toss-up. You don't really know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Huge win for Ullmark there, too. He actually opted to sit out the game prior. Been going through a bit of mental health stuff, which is, he had this stuff earlier. There was that whole scandal that went on. He took a bit of time away to deal with family stuff around that, which I empathize with the guy then. But now he's in the dog days, and he goes, yeah, I'm not up to play. It's a tough look. Good for him for coming back after that, because he got shelled in Florida. So he sat out, came back when he was ready, came back, got absolutely ripped in Florida. I think they scored on the opening 2 shots of the game, had 5 in the first.
Got pulled.
Horrendous game all around. So to go into Buffalo, team that could potentially win the East and put up a nice 4-1 victory. That was a much needed win for the team, but I think a bigger one for Ullmark himself. If you can continue to see him play like that, I think they've got a really good shot at fitting in there.
Well, the coach of the Ottawa Senators there, the media asked him last night why he went back to Ullmark after being pulled and blown out of the game against Florida on Tuesday. And he pointed blank, he said, he's our guy. He said, he's our guy to play the game. And he said the team played like shit in front of him. Right. So it's going to come down to it. And I want to see Detroit and I want to see San Jose are my 2 picks for the last 2 wild card spots.
I want to see I want to see Winnipeg just because it's a Canadian team. I'd love to see Winnipeg get in there, but I'd love to see San Jose too, just to see Macklin Celebrini. And out of the East, I'd like to see Detroit get in there too, like Devin mentioned on the last spot. It feels right for hockey when Detroit's in there. Yeah,
it does. And Detroit, they kind of been blowing it the past couple of months. Even they were first in the East for a while. Now they're on the outside looking in. For me, I'd love to see Columbus. Just all that they've been through over the past couple of seasons, had multiple deaths in their locker room and just battled everything on that end, and to come and be this close to a playoff spot and playing some great hockey. I'd really like to see Columbus get there.
Agreed. It's a deserving fan base too. They've had some tough ups and downs, and like you look at Buffalo, they fired the GM, they brought in Yarmo. Well, last time Columbus was relevant was back when they had Yarmo as well, and he swung for the fences with Panarin. They had Bobrovsky at the time, and then they also went out and got Duchesne, and that's when Columbus upset Tampa in the first round, right before Tampa went on their big back-to-back wins. So Columbus had they were looking good for a little bit, and then Duchesne walked, Panarin walked, and ever since then they've kind of fallen by the wayside. They've got a lot of good pieces. I'd like to see them, and Billard hit it right on the head. Like they've had some hardships too, very deserving, and especially the story around Bones coming in and rallying them. I think they'd be a good one.
Who you got out of the West, Billard?
Out the West again, like everyone. I'd love to see San Jose. I think that's the best possible outcome for hockey, for the NHL.
Fair.
Seeing Macklin Celebrini in the playoffs is just good for the league.
It is. Agreed.
Oh, he'll put on a clinic.
Yeah, Dev, who you got coming out of both, or sorry, taking that last playoff spot?
There in the West, I got Nashville. I think they've got the experience in their locker room, and they've got guys like Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault's even finding his game. So they've got proven winners who are finding their game at the right time. I think you're going to see these younger teams buckle a little bit down the stretch where those guys know how to grind it out. Now, that being said, you're all, fighting for a 4-0 exit, but, I think Nashville will take it.
Right on. So sticking with the West, Zach, how about you get into your Oilers?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on a hot streak since Draisaitl's been out. There's been a talk that he might return for a game or two before the end of the season, but if not, he is expected to be back for game 1 of the playoffs. And then Roslovic, got that right? Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what he's done since the Oilers signed him. I think he's been 62 games now, 20 goals, 12 assists. I mean, for $1.5 million, it's been quite the steal for the Oilers. He fits the middle six really well. He's also seeing, every now and then he'll be thrown onto the top six, playing with Draisaitl or McDavid, but he's seeing a bit more minutes with Draisaitl being out. But he's been a hell of a steal for the Oilers since they signed him earlier in the season. And then goalies. I mean, we can keep talking about them. Like I said earlier, I think Ingram is our starter come game 1. But that being said, they might go back and forth and just see who, give games 1 and 2 to someone, give games 1 and 2 to Ingram, 3 to 4 to Jari, unless Ingram plays really well. But it's hard to tell. I do think you'll see a massive goalie change in the offseason. I'm hoping for one anyway. But so, yeah. No, the West is shaping up, and I know Billard mentioned earlier it's quite a shame that the 17th overall team gets home ice advantage when his Habs won't be able to get home ice advantage, and they're 6th in the league, I think.
I won't say they won't. They're currently not holding home ice advantage.
But that just goes to the format of the playoffs, right? Like a 17th overall team is going to have home ice advantage over someone that is 10 spots ahead of them in the standings.
Can we all agree on one thing, that this current playoff format sucks?
But if you ask Bedman, it doesn't. All the fans love it. The fans love this format.
But it's not the fans, because we are the fans. The owners love it. The marketing teams love it. I seen a thing the other day talking about the first round ticket costs and the amount of tickets they're selling, and it's good. I guess it's the fan love it, because who won't love watching, Dallas and Minnesota now in the first round? But that should be a second or a third round matchup. They're selling tickets, and that's all they care about. And that's all Bettman cares about. That's all he's ever cared about, is making the owners money. But it's not the best for the league by no censor of the imagination. Like the 1 through 8, everyone, you see any podcast, everyone's talking about it. TSN, Sportsnet, everyone is talking about it. It needs to change, but it likely never will, because the NHL's making money.
Yeah. No, you're right. It comes down to the bottom line at the end of the day, because everyone involved in the game, if you're looking at it from a hockey purist perspective, you want 1v8 for you get rewarded for your regular season success, and it shapes your playoff format better for to have the better teams merging later on. But in terms of having like more 6, 7 game series in the first round, and then you've got continued rivalry. So it just starts the playoffs off hot right at the gate. And I'm sure that's what Bettman's seeing off his analytics, and they're going, "Why would we change it? We're making a fortune."
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
back to your 1v8, with the current format, you really don't have that like that underdog story that we had with LA when they just barely made the playoffs in 2012. And then they went on to play, like I said, they were 8th in the division. They went and played 1, they went and played 2, and they went all the way to the finals and won the cup, right? Like, you don't really have that kind of underdog storyline anymore due to the current format. Like you said, you got 2 out of the 3 best teams in the league playing against each other in round 1, right? When both of those teams should be playing in the second or third round.
Oh,
Yeah, like looking at Minnesota, they're going to get Dallas for coming third in the West. If it was an 8 team setup, it'd be Vegas or Utah.
Yeah.
And that seems like a fair reward. You've played phenomenal all year. You get the reward of a easier matchup.
Not playing the second best team in the league.
It's still a grind, but now you're getting Dallas, who is really the only one who could potentially push Colorado. And I think at this point, they've got it on lock for number 1 overall.
And yeah, Minnesota's another one, like they're third in the West?
Yeah.
And they don't get home ice advantage. Like that seems like it should be a crime. And now Edmonton is 17th in the league, and maybe a bit hard now after they won last night. This was yesterday's numbers that I was looking at. But
Oilers are 15.
It's not crazy.
15th now. Yeah. Okay, sorry, 15. They're 15th and holding the home ice advantage.
Like you said, it goes back to the divisions, and like Detroit is 12th with 88 points, and they are on the brink of now making the playoffs, and the Oilers have 87 points, and they have home ice.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. So you touched on the Avs there a second ago, Dev. Why don't you take it away with the Avs breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, every time I do my breakdown, it's a good time for the Avs. We're pretty much poised to lock in our 4th President's Trophy. I know Zach and a lot of folks are pulling for President's Trophy curse. That trophy, the inception of that came in 1986. So we've had 38 seasons with it. 8 of those have gone on to win the cup. So it's definitely, the odds aren't in their favor. However, one of those teams was the 2000-2001 Avalanche. So they've done it before when they've been a wagon. And the last one was Blackhawks back in 2013-2014. So it's not unprecedented, but the odds are definitely against them. But given how, like we talked about, given how that Central stacks up, I want that home ice advantage all day. I want them fighting a wild card and take on the juggernaut in round 2. But yeah, good things going on in Colorado country. We had McKinnon hit 50 goals on the season, set up for a real good battle against Caulfield coming down the stretch for the Rocket. And we've got a few guys coming up. Parker Kelly, he's been on a heater. He's a 4th liner, but he's put up 10 points in the last 15 games. He just chips in all around. Good penalty killer and getting a bit of offensive contribution. So having him come into his game, it just shows where things are at. We've got a lot of role guys finding their groove. Biggest highlight right now, we talked about it before, and it was a big sticking point around the league a lot of the year, was Colorado's power play. Well, in the month of March, they were 31.3% and 3rd overall in the league. So it looks like that addition of Kadri has really pulled them out of that funk, which is what we needed. When you look at it, they had McKinnon, Makar, and Nietzsche's all kind of off. They were playing off the left side, right shot guys, and it almost felt like they got predictable. So you can almost just lock up that one side, and they didn't really have a left shot on his off wing over on the right that was really a dominant threat. With Kadri, you now have that. He can shoot, he's got playmaking ability, and he just feeds into that down low role. So I think having that little bit of versatility added in has really taken their game to another level. I know Zach's dying to chime in and chirp us about that 8-6 loss. That kind of, but horrible off game. The team itself, if you're scoring 6 goals, the team itself played fine, at least offensively, but it segues me into the one glaring issue we have going forward, which is goaltending. Mackenzie Blackwood let in, I think, 6 goals on 19 shots?
Yep.
Absolutely pathetic performance. I went back, looked at his numbers. They've been okay for the year, but just on the whole, like, it's just a quick cursory glance. You see him losing a lot of games to teams that are in the playoffs, and he's had more. It's been him and net more often when we've had that random blow up game like we did in Vancouver. I look at Wedgwood, man. He's top of the league in save percentage at 216. He's got top goals against average, I think, at a 912. That guy's been phenomenal all year. He's been a lock, and he's been good in tight, competitive games. I think we're probably going to end up rolling that direction, but if Wedgie falls off a bit and we have to default back to Blackwood, I think we're okay. I think we can weather it, but I'm not comfortable with it. He's played pretty average, and I think we need a little more if we're going to go on the run that we're hoping for. But yeah, that's more or less what we've got on the Avs. We've got Kale's out, but he'll be back for playoffs. We got, I think, 4 or 5 guys inside the top 9 and plus minus. It's good times for us. We're rolling. We're looking good.
And like you just said, Devin, you got 5 or 6 guys in the top of the plus minus. I think that also offsets those goalie stats a little bit. You guys are so offensive minded. You hold the puck a lot, so that just inherently makes your goalies look a bit better than maybe that they are. So when they are tested, they lose. They get 7 goals scored on them by the worst team in the league. So might be something, might be nothing. Just something to think about going into the playoffs.
Yeah. Just enough to keep you worried.
Right.
Yeah.
But like my thing, I watched that hit over and over again on McCarr. Like I don't even know. Like, what do you know? Did you know what the injury was? Because like he was just like it was just a bump. Like he didn't get ran. He didn't get hit from behind. It was just must have been an awkward hit into the corner or something. But I mean, it's kind of the same with the Draisaitl one. I still don't know what that one was either. Like it was a play, and all of a sudden he's hurt and out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
But might also just be time of the year too, right? You're about to jump into playoffs. Why skate McCarr for the next 7 or 8 games when they already have a playoff spot locked up? Let the guy rest and get ready for game 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
I had that thought. He's played a lot of hockey the year. Let him get recouped. He probably had a couple things bothered him. It's like, hey, shut him down and come back healthy. So he'll be fine. He'll be ready for game 1.
And speaking of guys who've played a lot of hockey, how about Brent Burns coming up close on a 1,000-game Ironman streak?
So yeah, as we record here today, it's Friday. So tomorrow they play Dallas and he'll hit 1,000 games. And then I think we got 7 after that. The record is 1,064 by Phil Kessel. So basically,
Kessel.
I know. So
I
I love the idea of Burns taking it down because he seems to embody everything you would think, where Phil's just this freak anomaly. In order for Burns to take that record on him, he'll have to play 57 straight games next year. So basically,
it's too hard of a stretch,
at 42 years old. 42 years old, though.
It's a big ask, but he's logged 19 minutes a game for the Avs this year, just under 19. And you think of that as a 40-year-old D-man on the top team of the league, like you could easily make the argument, okay, yeah, he's got the streak, but he's just, playing, 10 minutes a game. But no, he's out there. He's playing significant minutes and contributing very well. I don't see him not being able to have a roster spot. It might be 6 D-man on the lineup, but I see him getting in the lineup every night. So barring any freak injury, you should be able to
So
knock that out.
do you think Colorado re-signs him then? Because he's only on a 1-year deal, isn't he?
Not on the deal they got for him. I think he's what, $1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's $1 million right now, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. If he wants to come back, if he just loves it there and he goes, yeah, I'm happy here. Let's go and try and win another, then maybe. But I wouldn't be shocked either if we lose him and he goes somewhere for, 3-4 million. Seems crazy, but he's playing up to that level for sure.
Yeah, go back to San Jose.
I actually just had that thought, like, why not?
Toronto will give him 6, I'm sure.
He'd be the best defenseman they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be logging 26 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Leafs there, Ryan, want to head into that?
Yeah, we got the Leafs going on. Some big shakeups happening in the Leafs land. The Leafs fire Brad Treliving, and Brandon Pridham and Ryan Hardy are going to be managing the Leafs until a new GM is found. So Keith Pelley came out and had his press conference and said, we're looking for a data-centric GM. There's been, mixed reviews on his press conference, and we kind of got a lot of information onto the inside of what the Leafs are kind of thinking there, which you don't normally get from those type of press conferences with upper management. They're kind of pretty dull conferences for the most part, but this one you kind of got a lot of insight into the Leafs, the way they look. And one thing he said that kind of interested me was he broke down the structures of how different NHL teams run their GM situation. So 12 teams run a GM and a president, 2 separate guys. 8 teams run a GM and a president as the same guy, and 12 teams run only a GM. So, for example, the Avalanche, they run with Joe Sakic and Chris McFarland as president and GM. They're in a good spot. Minnesota, they run with old Bill Guerin as the sole guy. Kind of got their, their stuff going on there. So, my question to you guys is what's a better option in your opinion, and what's a better option looking at the Leafs? I hear Doug Armstrong's name mentioned a lot for the next GM for the Leafs, but he's over in St. Louis. He got the show wrapped up as he's the only guy he has to answer to, versus if he came, and plus he's still on contract with St. Louis, so there's not a guarantee that he'd be even allowed to take the job. But going from that, where you got total control, and then coming over to the Leafs, where, if you fart at the wrong pitch, you're being scrutinized by, every reporter under the sun, plus the upper management. So, is he the right guy for that role?
Bring in Pronger.
Bring in Pronger. And well, for, if you want a culture change, which is what he said, you're going to want a guy like Pronger. My greatest pick for the culture change would be bring back Mark Hunter. The last time the Leafs, had any hope and good look was when Mark Hunter was the guy scouting all the guys and drafting the guys and making those plays from 2014 to 2018. He was the guy doing that stuff. And that's literally the last time the Leafs really had, significant hope and great outlook. And, I figured he would have been the next GM of the Leafs, but instead they went with Kyle Dubas. And, we all know how that story panned out and played out. But
I mean, you want to talk about Dubas, you look at him in Pittsburgh right now. He's up for GM of the year.
I agree. And I didn't hate Kyle Dubas. However, it still played out the way it played out. I actually wanted to see him extended, but he left, and now he's knocking it out of the park with Pittsburgh. But a lot of people criticized a lot of the moves he made in Pittsburgh too. It just happens that it panned out in his favor this time.
Yeah, it just happens. Anthony Mantha scoring 30 goals, and Stu Skinner is playing some great hockey as well.
Erik Karlsson's is himself again.
Yep. Wild. No, Pittsburgh right now, it's sickening. I'll get back to the Leafs in a sec, but just want to highlight one while we're on the Pittsburgh topic. Crosby right now, he's 2 points away from passing Steve Yzerman for 7th all-time in NHL points. So moving up that list. That helps if you have him on your team too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, so talking about the Leafs, What do you guys think? What do you guys think is a better setup? Maybe not even just for the Leafs, but overall, is just a GM, one guy running the whole show, or does a GM president situation make more sense to you?
I like the GM president in a lot of situations if those two people have the same, I guess, outlook on the team. When you get, the Leafs of the past with Dubas, and he had Shanahan like overlooking everything and blocking his trades and so on and so forth, that don't always work. You go into a situation like Colorado, like I said, obviously that's working greatly. There in Montreal, you got Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton. Now, from everything I've read, like Hughes is ex-agent, real players guy. He's a real smart mind, but the real mind in that front office is Jeff Gorton. The thing he has going against him is he's not a francophone, so it's hard to give him the general manager's position and to be speaking to the media. So, like, it depends on the situation. And then you got, like I said, Minnesota with Billy G. I don't think Billy G would do very well with someone above him telling him how to operate, telling him not to sign Kaprizov for $17 million, telling him not to trade for Quinn Hughes. So it's hard to say, man. It just comes down to the team, I think, and what that individual team can do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with what Billard said. I mean, it all depends on the market, right? It works in Colorado. It works in Montreal. I'd like to see Jeff Jackson be the only person to run the Oilers. I think he's done a great job. Stan Bowman's that guy's got to go. And I'm hoping Jackson listens to all of us and fires his ass at the end of the season. Even before the season, I don't care at this point. But no, in Toronto, I think your best. It would be best if it was one person for the whole thing. You don't have anyone. Like you said, speak of Shanahan and Dubas. Dubas wanted to trade, Marner and all this, and Shanahan said, "No, I'm not doing it." And then you locked them up for no movement clauses and stuff like that for long-term deals. Again, I got a feeling Shanahan had a lot to do with that as well. Maybe Dubas did as well, but again, for Toronto, it would work better if it was one person running the GM and the president role.
I agree.
I'm in that boat too. You basically need someone who is strong-willed enough and thick-headed enough that they can look Keith Pelly in the eyes and tell him to shove it up his hoop. Because if you can't see that the Montreal Canadiens are coming for you, if they snuck up on you, like, you have no business being in that industry.
You're so out of touch with it all, 100%.
Yeah. So you need someone who can put them in their place, because that's how I feel. They've just been castrated every GM between Dubas, Tree Living. And I want to bring it back to Tree just for a second, kind of give him his flowers. Again, the Scott Laughton trade is going to always look horrible for him. And then even worse, you got the Brandon Carlo trade where he gave up a first, Minton, and I think like a fourth and a sixth or something like that. But
Yep.
a first and Minton for sure for Brandon Carlo, and just kind of how it's done. But the one thing I will say about Tree Living, he made a couple signings, which included Stolars and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who were guys he had before, and they liked him. He created a culture in terms of John Tavares wanting to resign. Like, they might have fell off the face of the planet this year, but that JT contract is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He signed off Austin Matthews, and I get that the number looks harsh now, but at the time when they signed him, like, it was a very fair contract. He extended Chris Tanev. So he's brought in guys who know him, and the guys who he said, look, I need to keep you on a team-friendly-ish deal if we want to have a winning culture. He established all that. Guys were buying into that. So I think when you look at who he signed and who he was able to keep, it showed what he was doing well as a GM. His big blemish is he didn't really get a ton of free agents. Now, he didn't have a lot of room to work with, but his trades, those trades are going to mar his legacy. And that's really where he fell off. So I think given what he did and how you can kind of see the players respect him, I think he'll get hired again, but he was definitely not the right fit in that role, and just too many mistakes under the pressure they had.
Yeah.
I will give him credit though, like a little bit on Carlo played significantly better in Boston
He did.
than he did when he came to Toronto. And I feel like I think that's just goes to show like everyone that it's those markets, right? Like the Toronto, the Montreal, the New York Rangers and stuff like that, right? Like it's the market you play in Boston. You're not in the spotlight. You're not in this and that. But when you give up, a top prospect in Mitten, a first round draft pick, 2 other draft picks for a defenseman, you're expecting that defenseman to be the top defenseman on your line, right?
Yeah.
And
I
Carlo,
think in particular, Minton playing how he's playing now is just making it look even worse.
Yes.
And again, it comes down to in like you said, the Toronto and Montreal markets. That's an added skill in your resume you got to have, is being able to pick guys that will thrive in heavy markets. It's easy to thrive in San Jose. It's easy to thrive in Florida when you walk out of the arena and it's 25 degrees, sunshine, you're happy, everyone's happy, there's no one coming running up to you for autographs and stuff like that. But it takes a special personality. You need the LeBron James type personality where you absolutely thrive in every pressure type situation and make it happen. Michael Jordan's, Wayne Gretzky's, et cetera, et cetera. That's the guys you need on your team in Toronto, and not just the outright superstars. You need guys who can fill role positions that do enjoy the media in Toronto. Look at the Darcy Tuckers, look at the Ty Domies, those type of guys. Wendell Clarks. Now, Wendell was a bit of a superstar, but again, you need those guys who are going to thrive in that market under the pressure and be able to brush it off their back. The closest they have is William Nylander, and he just doesn't care. That's the one thing I don't like about Willie. He has that personality of he can brush it off. He likes being the superstar, but he just does. He brings such a I don't give a shit attitude to it that I don't like it. I want more of a Wendell Clark type guy to come in and take over and be an absolute dog on the ice. Darcy Tucker type guy, and yeah.
I think it was.
You already said a name there. You said a name there, Ryan. Ty Domi. What about his son Max? Who,
well,
he's not the 80-point player he was a few years ago in Montreal, but he gives it his all every time he's on the ice, and you can't take that away from him.
No, you're 100% right. And you had the fight there the other night with Gudis. 2 weeks too late, but he did still show up and show his colors, and he's tough as nails too. Like he's not the biggest guy in the world, same as his father, but man, Max he's a tough customer, and yeah, he gave it to Gudis.
Gudis took a fucking lick in that game. Holy,
he did,
100%,
and
he didn't do it, and he knew it was going to happen.
He knew it was coming, and like they said the day before, he was wearing a walking boot. He's got an injury he's fighting, and this is more of a shout out to hockey players than Gudis. I'll give Gudis a quarter of a stick tap, but he came out, took his licks. Hockey players are a different breed, man. He knew it was coming. He's injured. He said, "Fuck it, I'm still going in. I'm still going to take my beating, and we'll move onwards and upwards from there."
I don't think he's played since then.
You can't play that style of hockey and not be willing to take your lickings. I mean, he injured Crosby, he injured Matthews, all within like 6 weeks of each other. Yeah. Like he knows what he is, and
he's a dirty player.
He is a dirty player. He plays with an edge, and a lot of times he might cross that edge. It is what it is. I don't think he denies it, and that's why he went out there and took his lickings, as we say.
Yeah.
I think that's why you only got 5 games. Pero said, look, you got to be back in time for the Toronto game. And then after that, we're going to fake force an injury on you so you sit out the rest of the year, but you'll at least get paid.
So I want to circle back 1 second there just for the Pelly conference and what Devin said about him being out of touch and not seeing the Habs coming. Steve Dangle said, he could be forgiven for not seeing the Buffalo Sabres coming, because I don't think even the Buffalo Sabres could see the Buffalo Sabres coming on this run. But for not seeing the Habs coming, man, the Habs are, in my opinion, with a close second being San Jose, have the brightest future in the NHL currently. And I think within the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a San Jose Montreal Stanley Cup final.
But everyone keeps talking about the Habs. Like, for people like to say that they're not a contender this year blows my mind.
It's crazy. But
Yeah,
Like-
they're sixth in the league, man. They're sixth in the league.
They have all the talent in the world, and it's thrived this year. Suzuki's at 94 points on the year. Caulfield's stretching 49 or almost 50 goals now. It's
He'll hit
to
50.
me to people keep saying over and over again that this team isn't a contender. They're going to get bounced the first round. Yeah, their goaltending is what it is. It's the same as the Oilers.
Best in the league right now.
Oh, hey, if
But
Dobish can keep playing the way Dobish is playing,
But that's the
he'll
thing.
be all right.
Everyone keeps saying it's Fowler's net. No, it's not. It's Dobish's net come game one of the playoffs. Montembeault is going to be in the press box. Fowler's going to be the backup. And I don't think you're going to see Montembeault go in the summer, I would say.
Oh yeah, he's time in
But
Montreal's over.
it's no, I gotta the Habs are, again, like I said, it blows my mind. People over and over again, like you said, didn't see them come in. They're not a contender. Like it baffles me.
The only people who say that are people who just don't like Montreal just for the sake of not liking Montreal. And you don't have to like the Habs, but they're going to demand your respect right now. They're a dominant team. As someone who watches every single game that they play, they're like I said, I've said it here so many times.
I'm a guy who doesn't like the Habs just for the sake of not liking the Habs because I'm a diehard Leaf fan, and that just comes with the territory, same as you towards my team. However, I got to give them their flowers because they look good now.
You have enough sense to know that they're a contending team.
They have to go on a hell of a run and beat a couple of really good fucking teams to be a contender.
They beat Tampa the other night.
They're beating them. They beat Carolina twice.
Let's come back here for a second, though. We all know regular season is a hell of a lot fucking different than the playoffs. Going to 7 games.
Caulfield's going to score 49 goals in the playoffs.
I'm not hating on the Habs. Don't take it as I'm hating on the Habs. I'm just saying they got to beat a lot of good hockey teams who have a hell of a lot more experience in the playoffs than they do. Do they have a shot? 1,000% they have a chance. Do I want to see it? Kind of. They're an exciting hockey team to watch. Do I want them to win a cup? Absolutely fucking not. So I'm not going to sit here and say they're a contender because I don't want to see it happen. Do I want to see them put some exciting hockey? 100%. I like their young players. I like watching them play. I like seeing Caulfield. I'd love to see Caulfield hit 50, 55 goals this year. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see him take the fucking rocket. Ooh. Do I want to see the Montreal Canadiens win a Stanley Cup before the Toronto Maple Leafs win a Stanley Cup? Absolutely fucking not. And
they're going.
So I can't jump on that wagon.
I'd like to say they're gonna. I thought it also, 15 years ago when we were making deep cup runs, and I thought it was going to happen, but it never. And you never know what's going to happen in the NHL, and that's what's so great about it is the parity of the league. But Montreal right now, I mean, they got Suzuki. He's 7th in points with 94 points. He's tied for 4th in assists. He's the front runner for the Selke right now, according to anything that I'm reading. They got Caulfield there, who's gonna win the Rocket. It's gonna happen. I mean, Nate just needs to miss a couple more open nets, and he's right there. So you got him going for the Rocket. Then you got. I'm not going to say any of them are going to win the Calder, but they got 3 fellas there that are, I'll say, top 10 rookies in the league right now. They in Demidov, Kapanen, and Dobish. Got Marty St. Louis there, who's going to get a couple of votes for the Jack Adams. Again, I don't think he'll win it, but he's definitely going to get a couple of votes. And just to have that many key pieces around your team up in the upper echelons of, these individual awards, it just shows the promise of the team. They're playing so well together, and they're all buddies. They're a club. They love each other, and you see it every game. Like, no one is a bigger cheerleader on the bench than Cole Caulfield. Like, everyone keeps asking him, why aren't you out there like in the end of the game to get 50 to beat Nate? And it's like, I don't need to be out there. That's not my role. I know my role, and I play my role. And when there's, a minute left and they got their goalie pulled, I want our shutdown guys out there. And for him to come out and say that over the past couple of games now just shows the team first mentality that they have. And I think that's what's going to carry them through the playoffs. They still might win home ice advantage. They got another game against Tampa coming up that, you know, it was a huge one. That game they played Tuesday night against Tampa, that was a massive win. Suzuki come out and told the media that was their biggest win of the year. That meant so much to them, and now that they're on the other side of a couple massive wins, they're the hottest team in the NHL right now. They got 7 straight wins, and I think they're gonna surprise a few people once the playoffs do get started.
No, I think that's a great point. Like you say, everyone's got to buy into a role. And the fact that Caulfield, like, it's one thing you got to know your strengths, but you also got to know your weaknesses. And the fact that Caulfield is self-aware enough to know that he's a defensive liability and can't be on the ice at the end of the game, I think that speaks volumes of the kid.
That's one way of putting it.
You're gonna take shots at McKinnon. I'm gonna fire back.
Well, but even like fellas like Joe Veleno, everyone keeps wondering what's happening with Laine. Laine, I was listening to a Locked On podcast there the other day, and they just said Laine is just there to use the facilities at this point. Like, he's obviously not going to play. He's, was he making 8.7 million, same as Crosby, and he hasn't played a game since November, I believe. Like, he's just there to use the facilities to get on the ice and hit the sauna. But Joe Veleno is the one, like, they interviewed him recently, and he's been called a bust, and he's been called this and called that, but he's completely bought into Marty's game, and he's a shutdown guy. He's down low, banging bodies, getting pucks deep. Him and Gallagher are, the boys are dogs. They're not scoring a lot of goals, but everyone can't be this elite goal scorer. So if you get a guy like Veleno, who was projected to be an elite goal scorer in the NHL, and obviously that's not how it turned out for his career, but it's been revitalized now, and he wants to play in Montreal, and he's playing hard. So you got fellas like him, you got fellas like Gallagher. They're going to carry it when it matters, I think. And
I think Tano is going to play a big factor for you guys in the playoffs too.
Man, he's so good. Again, not a great goal scorer, but that's not what he's there for. Jake Evans, same thing. They no, it's good. And
they got
the
their
big thing for
pieces in
Montreal,
place.
when their first line is scoring, they're winning hockey games.
Yeah.
If Suzuki, Slafkovsky, and Caulfield aren't on the puck, they're going to struggle. But it seems like every game those 3 guys show up to play. And Slav, got to give him his flowers too, man. He's really, really come into his own this season in particular, and the way he carries the puck and just does everything out there is great to see. The man's got 15 power play goals this year. Like, he's one more. I think he got 30. No, it's good. It's a good time to be a Habs fan.
Yeah, the Habs developed him right. They did a really good job with it. Took their time with him. Everyone kind of questioned the pick they made with them for a minute there for the first season or so, but man, it really opened my eyes when it was at the Olympics again. The Olympics are such a great display of talent for the NHL. You just seen the separation because he's playing on a team with a lot of guys that weren't in the NHL, and he literally put that team on his back and ran them against some of the greatest players in the world. So definitely give him his flowers. He's quite the hockey player, and he's going to be a big part of Montreal for a long time going forward.
Speaking of the East, I seen a photo or like a thing on Instagram there a couple of days ago, and it was the last time the Buffalo Sabres made the playoffs. Celebrini was 4 years old. Atlanta Thrashers were in the last year of their as an organization. Corey Perry scored 50 goals. Kovalchuk was in the first year of his 17-year deal with New Jersey. Tim Thompson led the league with a .938 save percentage.
Tim Thomas.
What'd I say?
Thompson.
Oh, Tim Thomas. And then Nicholas Lindstrom won the Norris at 40 years old.
What year? What was the last year that Buffalo made the playoffs?
Celebrini was 4, so that would have been 15 years ago.
14 years ago, right?
15 years ago. Celebrini is 19.
Yeah, we're 2026, so it's 2014?
give or take.
Math.
Math is it's not our strong suit. That's why we're doing podcasts. But yeah, no, like I thought that was crazy because, like, I mean, you look at the Kovalchuk deal, the fucking 17-year deal. Atlanta Thrashers were in the last year of their organization. Like, that's, but
Kovalchuk, and then he took after Russia.
I'm pretty sure they're still. I'm pretty sure they still paid him for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there because he came back. He came back and he played with LA, and he was back with Montreal for a little while. And
I got to look more into that, but they terminated that. He was paid for a minute, but it got terminated at some point, didn't it?
I think when he went to LA,
as soon as he jumped ship and went to another team, I guess. Yeah, because when he wanted to come back to the NHL, I believe he was still technically under contract by a team. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And then he went to LA.
Gotcha.
But again, what a hockey player he was too, right? Like,
he was phenomenal. Yeah.
And Russia produces a lot of good players.
They produce a lot of those high talent, really good puck handling skill guys like
Kuznetsov,
Bure, Kuznetsov.
Yep.
Demidov.
Yeah. Like it's
isn't Kapanen? What is that? Is that his name?
Yeah, Kapanen.
No, he's a Finn.
Is he?
Yeah, there you go.
And he says that he likes to pronounce it Kapanen, which I try when I'm like conscious of it, but I find it really hard because everyone else that I've ever seen with that spelling is Kapanen or Kapanen. But when I'm conscious of it, I try to call him Kapanen because I know that's what he wants to be called. But
that's sweet.
Well, I mean, who knows their name better than themselves? Hey, boy.
So, boys, we're getting pretty late into the episode. So, before we get too much further, we got to get into our plus minus, a little game show we do. Brought to you by Benchminer Cards. Visit benchminercards.com. Get yourself some hockey cards today. Use the code 5FOR-FIGHTING and save yourself 10% right out of the gate. All right, so we already talked on it a little bit, but I want to go do the round table for it. Plus or minus, who wins the Rocket? Nate or Cole? Go for Bill.
I'm going to say Cole. He's my guy. It's going to be hard. I mean, he's one behind him now, and it's going to be tough to do it, but he's just scoring, man. Every time, every game he's scoring, and if he can put in a couple more 2 or 3 goal games in before the end of the season, I think that it's going to be his. If they're just going to go back and forth here and score one each night, he's not going to do it, obviously. But like I said, all he needs is for Nate to miss a couple open netters on that one time, and it's his to win. So I'll go with Cole.
Okay. And on the flip side of that, we got Devin.
Yeah. I'm going Nate. You know why? But part of it too, I look at Colorado has a bit of an easier schedule coming down the pipe. They've got St. Louis, Calgary, a few of those. So I'm hoping Nate can take advantage of that. Not to mention you got Caulfield, like he's playing unbelievable, but the pace he's scoring at the moment, I don't see him continuing that. I'm not saying he's going to fall off or anything. I'd like to see it where Nate hits about like 55, 56 and Cole is right around there as well. But I don't see him going at this 1 to 2 goal pace every night where he, if he continued that, he'd probably get 60. So I just think he's going to cool a little bit. Nate will continue right around where he's at, and the two of them should finish right around the 55 goal mark. But with Nate 1 or 2 ahead.
Zach, who do you got? Tiebreaker.
I'll go Caulfield. I think I have him as one of my top 3 stars for the week. The guy has 11 goals in 10 games so far. In the last, like I said, 11 goals in the last 10 games. So I can see him keeping up with the pace. Yeah, they might have a bit of a harder schedule coming down, but he's shown that that's not really a factor for him. Caulfield's my guy. I think he'll finish maybe 1 or 2 ahead of Nate. Because I got a feeling I got a feeling Nate might take some time.
I disagree with you there, just knowing the competitive nature of Nathan MacKinnon and how much he he's hurting after that Olympic loss. He wants to get into them playoffs, and he wants to make a statement that he's Nathan MacKinnon. So, but I'm going to throw a wrench in it all. My pick for the Rocket this year is obviously Austin Matthews. Yeah, obviously kidding, but Cole Caulfield is playing well. But again, going back to Nathan MacKinnon, I think not going to only not turn it down a notch. I think he's going to turn it up a notch going into this last little bit here and really make a solid push. All right, next question. Who is going to win the Calder? Is it going to be Matthew Schaefer or Matthew Schaefer? Go for Billard.
Yeah, I think it might be Matthew Schaefer. The kid is it's his. We've said it a couple of times. That's his to lose. He's really shown that he deserves it. Now, it's not a runaway cakewalk for him. He's got a couple of guys there that are also going to get a few votes in, but I think at the end of the day, it's pretty unanimous that it's going to be Schaefer's, even though, like I said, Demidov is leading in points right now. I still don't think that really is going to play a big factor just because of how dominant Schaefer is and how important. I mean, he could probably get a few Hart votes for his team.
Mm-hmm.
He's that important to the Islanders right now. So for that reason alone, I think it's his to win.
Zach?
I'm going the same thing. Schaefer's trophy to lose. He's 22 goals, tied for first with the gentleman from Anaheim. What's his name there? I'm not going to butcher it. So I'm going to ask Seneke. And then Kapanen, or whoever you want to call him there, Billard. But no, he it also comes down to, I mean, he's 22 goals as a defenseman in your rookie year,
which is one away to
a 2 away
Leach
from Leach's spot.
No, so I didn't realize he got one the other night. So he's at 22, and the record, I thought the record was 22, and he needs one more for it. I could be off. Is the record 22 or 23?
It's 23, so he needs
one more to tie.
23 to tie.
One more to tie too.
And I can see him doing it, right? And like Billard said, he might even get hard votes because he's that important to his team, right? Like the Islanders are there for him. He's their guy, and no, definitely Schaefer for the Calder.
Yep. Devin?
Yep. Same thing for me. You're leading the stat categories in both goals and assists and points as a defenseman. I say leading, like he's right up around it, tied in goals, couple back.
He's 2 points away from leading rookies.
Yeah, so he's right there, right, as a defenseman. And then you just look at the impact he had on his team. It's definitely heavily favored. If I was to pick anyone to take it, I would go with Seneke. And nothing against Demidov. He's had an awesome year, and I'm really pulling for him. And potentially one of my favorite people to watch. Like, he's so electric with the puck. I just think the other guys have had a bigger impact on their team. And I think of all the young kids coming out of Anaheim this year, Seneke has really kind of brought them together between him, Cutter Gauthier, and Leo Carlson. They're part of that nice young upcoming group. So I think with them likely or potentially winning their division, you could make a case for him in Anaheim. But I think it's just too many factors, especially being a D-man, being able to keep up with those forwards, the amount of ice time he plays. I think, it got to be Schaefer.
Yeah, and I'm the same way, man. That kid is going to be he's going to be this generation's Bobby Orr. And as much as you got guys in the league right now, Cale Makar, etc., Matthew Schaefer is he's another level, and he's going to be very special to watch going forward. So yeah, he's my pick as well.
When Cale came into the league, I thought we'd never see another defenseman like him for 10, 20 years. And the fact it's been maybe 5. And don't get me wrong, like Hudson came in and he was an offensive juggernaut, but it's kind of like when we talk about Celebrini, like Billard has that wrist shot and he's going to be amazing. I look at Hudson in that same way. Something about Schaefer where he just seems to be like everything.
Yeah.
Schaefer is second in defenseman, not rookie defenseman, in defenseman in goals.
Yeah.
2 behind Chychrun.
As a rookie.
Also, yeah, that's also surprising me that Chychrun's number one.
Chychrun's a great hockey player. He
is.
Yeah, flies under the radar a lot, but he's a great hockey player. All right, moving on in plus minus. Can the Oilers make it out of the first round if Leon Draisaitl does not come back in time? Go for Devin.
I'm gonna get Zach going here, so I'm gonna go minus. I think it's gonna be a coin flip, really. And it's not so much, I'm not even ragging on the Oil. And let's just assume right now they get Vegas. I think Vegas is a deep team. They just hired a new coach who should give them a little spark to get back to the capability that they are. And I think with Torch coaching Carter Hart before, when he was at his regular Carter Hart self, I think that might give them a little bit of a goaltending boost. So I think if you're Edmonton going up against a pretty good team like Vegas, you're going to need your guys. And if you don't have Leon, that's a massive hole that they've got no one to fill. That's my reason for minus. If I'm putting money on it, I'm probably still going Edmonton, but I think there's a strong case to be made that they won't make it out without him.
Zach?
I'm going plus. I mean, I'm always going to go plus. They've shown it the last couple games that they can do it without him. A lot of the guys have stepped up to take over the place of Leon in his absence, which is what we needed. I mean, it sucks that it has to take an injury for guys to step up and produce. But no, I'm going to go plus.
I'm going to give a shout out here to the crowd over at Pro Drain, and especially old Jesse Stayscal. I don't think if Leon's in or out, I don't think it doesn't matter. Oilers aren't coming out of the first round regardless. Billard?
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence there. Like Zach touched on, they've been playing better now without him, so maybe they don't want him to come back. Maybe they'd rather him be
the fuck we want him back.
But yeah, no, it's hard to say.
They're doing well, but we still need them back.
I don't think Edmonton is deep enough for a playoff run right now. I think they're a shell of their former self, and again, they need to address some key holes in the roster. You can't just win on the brute force of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So
and Bouchard.
We'll say no. And Bouchard, right. Yeah, well.
Yep. And so last question here, sticking with the Oilers. Just a quick side question. Who starts in net for the Oilers? Is it going to be Jarry or Ingram? Go for Zach.
It's Ingram's net right now. Knobloch came out and said it as well. Ingram's the starter. Jarry had, like I said, a good game yesterday or last night, but no, it's definitely Ingram's net.
Devin?
Ingram used to be the goalie for Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think getting shelled by Vegas all those years might have a bit of scar tissue. So I think he's going to come in starter, and by game 2 or 3, they'll have to go back to Jarry.
Billard?
Yeah, I'll go Ingram's going to get the start. He's their guy right now, and Jarry's not. He hasn't been very confident in the net, and you need your number one goalie to be confident, and I think that's going to be Ingram starting. But again, I don't think they're going to do very much with it.
I'm on the opinion it doesn't matter who they start. Still getting bumped first round.
Want to bet on it?
Yeah, I'd love to. What are we throwing down?
Our normal $20.
$20. Oilers get knocked out first round. All right, you heard it here live.
Well, and we'll segue a little bit out of it because we're ripping on Zach, of course, but we should really give him a bit of kudos over here, as he's the only one of us who made it past the first round in our fantasy hockey playoffs. Not only that, he's in the final this week against the defending champ. So we're pulling for you.
Yep.
Partly. I don't know, because Trevor's pretty quiet. If anyone's gonna win, he's a pretty good champion. Whereas Zach will be insufferable.
It will be.
So
only towards Jordan. Only towards Jordan.
I'll give
leak over here. I'm sure.
Bit of kudos though, because he made one move in particular this year that really sent him to the top of the standings, and that was trade Nate McKinnon. So
he took a lot of heat for his trades this year too. So no, you're right. Definitely give him some credit there.
I made some questionable trades. I know everyone says you don't trade the untouchables, McDavid or McKinnon in a fantasy league, but I was off to a shitty start to start. I think I was 0-3 in the first 3 weeks, or 0-4 in the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
And I needed a change, so I traded McKinnon, and
it worked out for you.
It did. So here we are.
I had the total polar opposite happen. I started out hot as could be. I won like 5 straight out of the gate, and then it just plummeted off the face of the earth, and that was her for the rest of the year.
Which might be even more hard to let down, in the fact that you and I had the same draft picks.
I know.
And
no, you had one more first round than me, so.
I mean, you both had your draft finished before I even made a pick. So
5th round, I finished my draft.
Yeah.
And kudos to Devin on his team too. He, as he said, didn't have a pick until me and you had our teams completed. And if I had my time back, I wouldn't have taken so many early round picks in building them up, because it almost shagged my team, because you're forced to keep guys. You don't want to drop guys that you picked in the first and second round, and it made it really hard. Versus Devin's team, he said fuck goals and assists and power play points, and he built everything from the back end out, and he dominated a lot of categories all year. Devin, I'm surprised Devin didn't get past that.
I got unlucky.
You big time did. You had the team to beat this year, in my opinion.
I think now Zach had a good week in semis, but like Zach completely dominated that matchup. I think if it was me over Dad, it was going to be a tight one. Yeah. Zach had a good goalie week, so if Zach took goalie categories, I'm washed out. But I think I could have given him a good run for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it also helped me because the 2 things I didn't think I was going to beat him in, I beat him in. That was hits and faceoffs.
Yeah. And but what I wanted to bring up is, ironically, in a way, the one trade everyone talks about, the McKinnon one, I still stand by it. That was a bad one for you, but you did make some other good moves. And the one I think was bigger than anything was you made a trade, ironically, with Trevor. I remember it included Mackenzie Weegar. I can't remember who else you got, but to me, that was your best move you made all year, because that really restructured your team, going from a purely offensive mindset, and you started bringing in blocks and hits, and that's why you were able to take Dad out in that matchup, was you diversified a bit.
Yeah, so we're pulling for you, because there's nothing worse than someone winning 2 years in a row. So,
and Trevor just used his last ad, and I got 2 left. So
okay, make it count.
And it's
all right, boys. We're getting to the end of her. Any last notes you want to touch on before we head out?
3 stars.
3 stars.
Wanted to give a shout out, and as much as I don't like praising anyone in Florida, give a shout out to Paul Maurice, who this past week coached 2,000 games. He's now second all time in the NHL behind Stan Bowman, who has 2,141. So not in jeopardy of going down anytime soon, but shout out to Maurice. He's coached for a long time, gotten it done in a lot of organizations.
2-time Stanley Cup champ.
Yeah, he's been coaching since he was really much younger than the average coach too. So there's a good chance, as long as he can remain employed, that he'll shatter that record.
Some of his speeches are like some of the best I've heard from a coach. It's not shocking he's been around the game that long. So
Cooper or Maurice,
Florida and everything they got going on, wanted to give him a bit of credit.
Yeah.
Cooper or Maurice?
I'd go Cooper.
So would I.
Yeah.
I like both. I was really sad when Paul Maurice left the Toronto Maple Leafs. I thought I really liked him even in his time there. But I go Maurice. I like Maurice a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like Maurice too. I like the way he speaks. Now, Cooper also has a way with words and a way with rallying his troops. So they're very similar. But yeah, I don't know. I like Paul Maurice. I think a lot of it just has to do with it's not Tampa.
Yeah. Okay, quickly, guys, before we go, let's get into our 3 stars. Take it away, Zachary.
My first star is Caulfield. 11 goals, 10 games, 18 points in those 10 games. Second star is Kucherov. He has 21 points in his last 10 games. I think he's everyone's star. He's also a front runner for MVP of the year. No one's done what he's done in the last little bit here. And then my third one is the kid, Celebrini. 40 goals on the year, 19 years old, 105 points. Has dragged his team from, dead last year to moving up into a wild card spot. So you got to give him the credit where the credit is due, and those are my 3 stars for the week.
Cool. Devin?
I've got Marty Nietzsche, who he's got 27 points since the Olympic break, which is tied for third most. I've got Pavel Zacha, who's got 5 goals, 3 assists in the last 4 games, and just really been helping support a Bruins team that needs it right now with their playoff push. And then my last one is in the same line. I've got Philip Forsberg. So when they played Edmonton, he got shut out, but in the 5 games prior, he had 12 goals. And for a Nashville team that needs every one of them right now, props to him.
Nice. Billard?
Yeah, my first star is going to be Dobis. He's just overtook Carey Price for most wins as a Montreal Canadiens rookie goaltender. He 23 was that number. He has 26 wins now. He got 7 wins in the past 2 weeks, 1.78 save or 1.78 goals against and a 9.42 save percentage. So he is without a doubt their guy. He reminds me a lot of his counterpart in Czech Republic, their Dominic Hasek. Bit all over the place. He don't exactly make the clean save or stop every rebound, but just he's keeping the puck out of the net, and his team is behind him 100%. Second star, I'm going to give it to Victor Arvidsson there in Boston for the same reason. Now Zacha, he's, they're fighting for their lives. He's not including the game last night against Florida. He's got 6 points in 2 games. He's got multiple games where he's had multiple points, and they're just winning, keeping themselves in a playoff position. So got to go with Victor Arvidsson. And my third star is going to be Logan Stanley, just for stepping up and dropping the mitts with Brady last night after Brady done that little bonehead play. And I'm not sure who he hit now. I can't remember, but the play against the bench, and he just kind of smacked him in the face from the bench with his stick. Just a complete scumbag move. So, shout out to Logan Stanley for standing up for his teammates.
Yeah.
Right on. And I'm gonna quickly go through mine. I was gonna pick 2 Habs, but I can't justify doing that. So I'm going with number 1. I will give it to the Habs though. Cole Caulfield on an absolute tear. Kid's looking unreal. Number 2, Cooch, just pulling his team through into the playoffs, into the top spot there. Cooch has been unreal. And then third star, Macklin Celebrini. Teenager, 105 points. Going to put some more up to the end of the year on a great season. Unreal. So those are my 3. Anything else before we shut her down, boys?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
That was a good one.
That was it.
I'm just trying to find that. Just trying to find that trade. Now I'm curious to see who I trade, because I traded what's his name from Carolina, Svechnikov.
Svechnikov.
I traded him for Zegras.
Yeah,
I traded for him and sent Zegras. One of the ones I did regret, I did trade fucking Jordan Philippe Forsberg.
Any trade with Jordan is a regret. I've never made a good trade with Jordan ever. He always fleeces me. I don't know how I let it happen either, but it always does for some fucking reason.
I mean, I don't regret trading a 2nd-round pick for Zadorov.
I took a lot of heat for that one too.
Yes. FYI, kids, don't take edibles and then make fantasy hockey trades.
Oh, another bad one. I traded Schaefer to Jordan as well.
Yeah, that one was tough.
And that was for Jari as soon as he got shipped to Edmonton. That was rough. But I got Robert Thomas and a 2nd and 3rd round pick.
Yeah, he'd be all right. But yeah, trade Schaefer's a rough one. He's going to be able to keep him for a minute.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Well, folks, that comes to the end of her again. That was a great episode. I'm going to go on a limb and say it was probably the best one yet. So if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And most important of all, hit that subscribe button. We need all the support and help we can get, because if you like this stuff, we can keep coming at you with more and more and more and more and more. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell whoever. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, thanks for stopping by. Take care, everybody.
Have a happy Easter,
Hello,
everybody.
guys.
Yes,
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines. Matchups, injuries, hot takes, and trades. No clickbait noise, no overplay clips. If there's an edge to find, we already checked.
Parlays, we got them for days. Five for Fighting. News updates, insight, and stay. Five for Fighting.
Breathe the ice, beat the market, drop the puck.